today. Next slide, please. We're going to have a system where I'm going to be asking for the next slide. My name is Jerry Nihill, and I'm principal at Mary Woodward. And I'm going to start this off today by asking for our Spanish-speaking families to connect via the interpretation link that is listed. I'm going to make sure that, and you'll see my pacing today is a little bit slower, a little more methodical. I'm going to make sure that our translation, which is live, is able to stay up and keep up with my sometimes verbose leanings, and making sure that we're going nice and slow and covering all these topics today. So as we're hooking up, you'll see the first slide that we have today is just a agenda and what we're going to be covering. And I'm going to go ahead and continue unless I hear differently regarding the interpretation, making sure that it is all set up. I'm going to go ahead and continue to move on.
Jerry, can I give instructions in Spanish?
Please, go for it.
Buenos días y bienvenidos a todos. Si quieres escuchar la presentación en español, por favor, seleccionar el botón de interpretación abajo en la pantalla y también silencia el audio original para escuchar solo en español.
And Lisa, will you let me know when we're ready?
Oh, yep, ready to go.
Awesome, thank you. So again, here's our today's agenda. We're going to get a chance to check in and talk a little bit about the start to our school year and what distance learning will look like, and virtually meeting some of our new team, while really setting the stage for kicking off the school year with success. Really trying to give you an idea of what the schedule would look like, the connections that we want to make this year with our students and with our families, focusing in on social emotional learning and the needs that our kids have, and making sure that we're supporting all students in that area. Also looking at basic needs, introducing our basic needs team and technology support, and making sure that we have all of our families connected to services, whether they be anything from technology-wise, wireless services, and making sure that all of our families are connected to 100% connected to our learning. And then also we have many families in need in other ways, and making sure that our basic needs team are connecting families to services for basic food, whatever it might be, counseling support, all of the above. And I also want to make sure that we are connecting with our Mary Woodward PSO, our parent support organization, which is an integral part of our community here and team at Mary Woodward. Next slide, please. So today, I'm going to ask you, there's a Q&A button towards the bottom of the screen, and we're going to try to attempt to answer as many questions live as we can. I'm happy to introduce Jennifer Skopinski, who will be one of our Tigard-Tualatin instructional coaches, who will be answering the questions geared towards the distance learning, curriculum, schedules, items like that. And we also have Lindsay Darr, our office manager, and Lindsay will be answering questions geared more specifically to Mary Woodward regarding, anything regarding office, anything that pertains to office setup and questions and hours and things like that. We will try to follow up later on with any questions that we miss. So please be patient with us as we work through this format, but we're hoping to make sure that we answer any questions that you have, as well as giving detailed contact information for a follow-up after this meeting to call us directly or email us directly. Next slide, please. So here we have Jerry Nihill, Principal, and Lindsay Darr, Office Manager. I'm going to go ahead and give full disclosure that the person you're seeing live right now looks a little bit older than the person in the picture that you see. That picture was a few years ago, and I'm using that as a goal to return to that form of my younger self at some point. But I am happy to say that I'm starting my 9th year at Mary Woodward as principal. I have the great fortune of saying that I had my 3 children attend Mary Woodward. And so I have that unique perspective as a parent and as a principal. And heading into this 9th year, I'm very excited for being able to support families and support students and make that possible. I'd also like to introduce Lindsay Darr, our office manager. Lindsay is, this is a new role for Lindsay. She has been at Mary Woodward for the last 15 years. And most recently as assistant office manager / bookkeeper. And Lindsay is now taking on the head role of office manager with the retirement of Judy Sweeney. And Lindsay brings with her encyclopedic knowledge of families, of names, of knowing families, and that comes out of a place of caring for Lindsay, her getting to know each and every family and making that happen. Next slide, please. Next we have, I'm happy to introduce, and pardon me while I work through my technology here. We have Nancy Ross, Assistant Office Manager, and Nancy also is our garden manager. We have a wonderful garden. I hope you have an opportunity to come and explore and take a look at our garden as in a safe, distant fashion. When we are able to get kids back in school, the garden is just a wonderful place of learning, and Nancy makes that happen for us, along with Joe Norn, one of our retired kindergarten teachers, to really do a hands-on learning in our Mary Woodward garden. I'm happy to introduce Mrs. Suzanne Sucem. Mrs. Sucem is new to our office this year, was hired as our new bookkeeper and also as our Spanish bilingual secretary. Mrs. Sucem has an incredible skill set and also has the unique perspective of having her children attend Mary Woodward as well. And I believe I passed over Mrs. Ross's children attended Mary Woodward as well. So a lot of great connections there. But we're so excited to have Mrs. Sucem join us. And her skills and being able to connect with our Latinx community, and she's already started that happening this past week over the summer. We're really looking forward to building much stronger relationships and having that access, consistent access for our Latinx families. Next slide, please. Next, I'd like to introduce, virtually, of course, we have Mr. Bonfilio, Mr. B, as he is affectionately known, as our school counselor and school psychologist, Mr. B, and then we also have Mrs. Wonderscheid, also known as Mrs. W. Brent and Tracy make up our counseling support. Tracy is our effective behavior support staff member. So Brent and Tracy work consistently in providing wonderful access for students and supports for teachers, making sure that our students are feeling safe and supported, and they do just a remarkable job with that. Mr. B and Mrs. W, along with Mrs. Sucem, make up our basic needs team. And this basic needs team, as I mentioned before, very important committee that will be reaching out to our Mary Woodward community to help support students and families during this, very much this time of need. Next slide, please. So kicking off the school year with success. The home learning environment is going to be key, and creating a space to learn. I know that a lot of you that have already gone through that this spring and trying to set that up in the couple of months that we did it, you know, we used that adage that we were building the plane as we were flying it when we went straight into distance learning mode this past spring. But it is really important to create a space to learn for your children, for your child, your children, and that parents set that tone at home in conjunction with your child's teacher. So please really set that tone and ask for help. If there's any questions that you might have, anything that we can do to help, to support, we want to make sure that we're here. But creating those routines, setting the stage, we'll be talking about the schedule in just a minute here, but just making sure that we're following that is so critical for kids, and making sure that those the home learning environment and the routines are in place. And then also getting familiar with iPads. We're a one-to-one iPad district or elementary school level, and we will be using Canvas. Last year, we used Seesaw as the platform to push out information and lessons. We will be using Canvas as our learning platform. And there will be training for parents coming up on that. And then also, Florida Virtual is a curriculum that we have adopted. We'll address that and talk about that in a little bit. Florida Virtual is a very consistent, steady curriculum that will be much more conducive to the online platform. So we will be communicating as we go and kicking off this school year, and continue throughout the school year. We want to make sure we'll be sending out surveys to stay up to date on what is working with the platform, with the curriculum, and what areas we might need more support, that you might need more support, and that your kids might need more support. We just want to make sure that we're being very consistent with that. Next slide, please. So jumping into daily schedule. So this is what we will look like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And again, not too long ago, we had asked families to choose between a program. It was either 100% online or the hybrid program. For the first 9 weeks of school, all students will follow the 100% online format, given the indicators that we have and the fact that we have to follow that for the first 9 weeks, given the parameters that we have from the state. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. You'll look at 8:30 to 9:10. We'll start with the class meeting along with social and emotional learning. A really important opportunity for kids to start the day connected with their peers, connected with their teacher. And it's a really important way for building that start to the day. We have a break built in, the reading and writing instruction at that point. So that will be chunked, and that will be set up in a way that will have a certain part of instruction from the teacher followed up with, and this is for reading and for math, followed up with independent practice. And you will continue to learn more about that as we start the school year, and as we start setting that system up with that first week of school. We know there'd be times when students cannot make this particular schedule. And we understand that. And that is the thing I want to stress, is that that flexibility in supporting families and making sure that we are there to support. We want kids there, and we will be taking attendance and monitoring and making sure that we're following up with families if attendance is not consistent. But the important instruction and content will be available on your Canvas, and it's called a shelf. So via Canvas, it will be available all day for you to go back and either revisit that with your child or to go back and have your child revisit them themselves and go back over if they were not able to make that time. Now, next slide, please. So here's a continuation of the Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Teachers will be available for questions and support during the work time. So that will be an interactive opportunity to make sure that questions are being answered, and that really important teacher communication is there. Because we'll use more consistent, predictable materials through the Florida virtual curriculum, it will include some feedback for students about how they're doing, built into the system. And the idea is that they will be more independently accessible, that will be more independently accessible for students as they progress through the curriculum. So a really important part about that. And I think that's what we're excited about with the Florida virtual, is that opportunity for that real consistent application that way. Please be ready to plan to support your students with access for the first couple weeks of school, knowing that it will take a little while for them, for the kids to settle into a routine and getting familiar with the technology. We're obviously going to have more scaffolding in place for kindergarten students and first graders as we step through that. But please be aware that that there's going to be a little bit of growing pains, and we're ready to work through that with you and making sure that we are supporting everyone as needed. Just to reiterate, the schedule will look like this for all students, regarding whether or not they chose 100% online or the hybrid option. This will be for the first 9 weeks. And then as we continue to find out more whether or not we'll navigate these changes, waiting for the input from the governor's metrics, if we meet those metrics, and at what point we might be able to go to the hybrid model and start having kids in a very safe manner join us here at school. We will communicate these, of course, these changes in a timely manner as we know more. Next slide, please. So Wednesday, so I just gave you the schedule for Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday will look a little bit different. The class meeting and social emotional learning will still happen. So that will happen at 8:30 to 9:10. Again, very important opportunity for kids to connect with teacher and peers during that time. But Wednesday will be more geared for meetings, staff professional development, teacher planning and collaboration, while students are working at more of an independent fashion, independent work time. It'll be more self-paced. In the afternoon, there will be opportunities for specials on Wednesdays, English language development. Again, mostly self-paced, but again, just a little bit different look on that Wednesday schedule. Next slide, please. So training and exploring, there, as I mentioned before, there will be opportunities for training, technology and device support, making sure that we're being very consistent in supports for those. The Canvas, there's a opportunity through Canvas called Parent Observer and Settings Overview with a Q&A. The parents can sign up as an observer in Canvas, and observers can link their Canvas account to their student's account so they can see assignment due dates, announcements, other course content. Observers can view course content, but of course not participate in the course itself. And then also a communication with teacher using TTSD technology. The communication and dates will be coming out from the district regarding those really important opportunities and training opportunities for parents. Next slide, please. So again, kicking off the school year successfully, the first 2 days of school, Monday and Tuesday, September 14th and 15th, we'll be having family one-on-one meetings. These meetings will be a great opportunity for students and families to make a connection with their new teacher, be able to set that stage. We'll be checking in with every family regarding basic needs, whether or not they voiced a need last year or not. I know we have a number of new families to Woodward, and of course, new kindergarten families coming in. But at the most basic level, we want to make sure that everybody is taken care of and connected to supports in our community. And that will be a part of those one-on-one meetings. And also just an opportunity to, and we'll be calling, teachers will be calling to set up those meetings with you. But that opportunity to build that strong relationship and set that tone. And we're really excited about having that opportunity in the first 2 days of school to make those connections. And next slide, please. So the first week of school, some of these things that we'll be focusing on that first week, we're looking at it as a new ecosystem and for kids. We've had a taste of it in the spring, but we're now looking at Canvas as a platform and Florida Virtual. It's going to take a little bit of time for kids to become familiar and for parents to become familiar with that. And we want to make sure that that's happening. And so we're going to, that first week of school, connect, via our community meetings and our SEL meetings, the social and emotional learning, how to work on how to navigate and use Canvas with confidence. Again, connecting to the SEL work, interacting with technology. And here's a key word that we're going to focus on, digital citizenship. And digital citizenship is not new verbiage for our students. We talk about that quite a bit, but we are going to ask students to be good digital citizens. When there is a class meeting, we're going to ask students to be very respectful and supportive of their teachers. I understand, and we all understand, it's a very, very tough format. And but teachers would be following up with parents, and we tend to see some more supports needed, or if students are struggling with the digital citizenship end of it and making good choices. But we'll be practicing that and making sure that that kids are making good choices that way. We'll be learning how to take quizzes, communicating with their teacher this week. All these important things to set the stage for the school year. Individual family meetings, I said, will take place. And then we're just looking at creating consistency, alignment with schedule, curriculum, and expectations. Creating consistency, again, will be another mantra that we continue to use throughout this year. Next slide, please. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of that first week of school, Monday and Tuesday, we have the interactive class meetings at 8:30 for all students. While we have the one-on-one family connection meetings happening, there will be some independent activities happening that teachers will be pushing out while we start that up and through the family connect times. And then on Thursday and Friday, as you can see, we'll continue with that really important 8:30 class meeting time. but we'll start to build in that regular class, that regular daily schedule, which includes that interactive instruction and the practice times that we would like to see. And we're going to just really start to build that up and build that resilience with kids, and building up that practice for them. Next slide, please. So class meetings, I have referred to that on a number of times. The social emotional learning is a process which children and adults understand and manage emotions, set and achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. And, you know, we tie that into the digital citizenship. And again, I'm trying to pace myself a little bit because I know I can start talking a little too quick, and I'm just going to continue to pace myself and make sure that Mrs. Sucem can stay up with me. But we have used through our class meetings, we're not going to let go of our PACS. Our PACS is our school-wide behavior system that we have used, and making good choices, and peace, productivity, health, and happiness, and being a part of a safe school, being safe, respectful, and responsible. You'll continue to hear that from us. Another piece that we'll be adding and looking at is, pardon me, I jumped a slide on my own, is looking at the connection, the SEL, social emotional learning, and anti-racism / anti-bias. That content, they're not the same. They both will require strong foundations to effectively teach and discuss very sensitive topics, but we're looking at creating environments that are safe, inclusive, courageous, and have a real high degree of mutual trust and respect for all members of our community. And that's going to be something that we'll be continuing to strive for. We have teacher training that will be specific to this work, to the anti-racism and anti-bias work. And we'll be connecting with parents throughout the year regarding their, I really want to make sure that we are listening to parents as we proceed in this work, and connecting and letting you know what that specifically will look like. A very, very important topic. Next slide, please. Basic needs team and resources, which I referred to earlier. The basic needs team will connect with a really wonderful group, Packed with Pride. If you're not familiar with Packed with Pride, it's just a local organization started by a group of school board members and parent volunteers that are everything from food support to other needs that might be out there. It just is incredibly exhaustive as far as all that they have been able to provide to families. And they are also always looking for volunteers. You can go to Packed with Pride website to volunteer if you are so interested. They are always looking for continued support. But we'll be looking to connect families to Packed with Pride as needed. And also our caring closet, which provides clothes, other types of support, a breadth of ideas and needs that they support that is so important to our community. Our lunch service will continue once school starts. It's been happening at Metzger Elementary. The district will expand that and make it a little bit more accessible as the school year progresses. And so there'll be, wait for more, we'll have announcements regarding lunch service that will be coming out shortly. And if you need to connect in any way, shape, or form, please don't wait for us. And we will be connecting with you via the Family Connect times, but please don't hesitate to do that. I want to make sure that you are reaching out to us. You can reach out to Mr. Bonfilio, Brent Bonfilio, our school counselor directly, or of course you can contact Suzanne Sucem directly if it's a Spanish call or if you'd like to email in Spanish, and their contact info is right there. Next slide, please. So teaching assignments for this coming school year. We are, at this point, we have 4 classes at every grade level, the same exact that we did last year. Our numbers are down a little bit, which helps with our class size, and which is especially needed at kindergarten and first grade. The hybrid classes for kindergarten and first grade we will see kinder and first graders 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, as opposed to second through 5th grade that would be split into cohorts, one cohort meeting Monday, Tuesday, the other cohort meeting Thursday, Friday. So it's imperative that we have our class size lower in kinder and first grade. And we'll be addressing that and looking at that as we progress through the school year, that hopefully sooner rather than later that we're able to see kids in the building. We would need to add on most likely another class at kindergarten and first grade to be able to bring numbers down to safely have the number of kids that we can have in a classroom. But this shows you the kinder team. We have Akuyo Cannon, Shelley Orchard, and Suzanne Rice returning. I'm happy to announce that Beth Schuff, who has been our STEAM teacher, our science, technology, engineering, art, and math teacher for the last number of years, Beth will be doing the 100% online kindergarten class, which will be a wonderful fit for that team. At first grade, Rachel Haynes, Kirsten Kemper, and Lene Langleers will be the 3 hybrid teachers, and Mrs. Marnie Samuelson will be the 100% online teacher for first grade. Second grade, we have Sarah Bell, Ann Cox, Colleen McCombs Fry will be the 3 hybrid teachers, and Allison Hutchins will be the 100% online. And you will also hear the 100% online classroom referred to the CDL classroom, which is the comprehensive distance learning. And again, because of the fact of where we're at, all students will be in CDL, comprehensive distance learning, for the first 9 weeks to start the school year. Third grade, as I move on to third, we have Meredith Allen, Amy Krebs, Paige Otto, and Amanda Thompson will be our online CDL 100% online teacher. In fourth grade, we have Julie Jernick. We have Catherine, please note, Catherine Rumbaugh, congratulations to her, was married this summer, and her new married name is Meisels. And Catherine, you'll see her email come up as Meisels with Rumbaugh in parentheses as we continue to make sure we're using her new married name. And then we have Annette Power. And then I'm happy to welcome Carol Anderson, who is a veteran teacher, 4th and 5th grade teacher, who most recently was at Durham Elementary. We'll be doing our 100% online CDL class for 4th grade. And then our 5th grade team, we have Jen Cannon, Stacy Johnston, Heather Miller. And I'm happy to announce Mary Lindbeck will be joining us as our 100% online teacher for again, CDL. Mary most recently has been teaching at Alberta Writer, and we are so very fortunate to have Mary join our team. Veteran, well-respected teacher, both Mrs. Anderson and Mrs. Lindbeck, and we're excited to have them join our team. Those of you see that Mrs. Zell has not, and Mrs. Pedersen, and also Mrs. Smith are not in this list. Mrs. Tracy Pedersen resigned to start a different venture with her family. Mrs. Smith has retired, 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Smith. And then in 5th grade, Mrs. Zell will be moving out of state at some point. Her husband has a job opportunity out of state, and they will be, so Mrs. Zell has resigned her 5th grade position. Class placement is in process. We are trying to really balance classes and make sure that we have class size balanced, and the cohorts, the A through L and the M through Z is not going to be a perfect A through L or perfect M through Z. We ask for your patience as we work through that process. Our aim is to balance classrooms and make sure that we have everything set up that way. And we'll have more information next week. You will be receiving, at the latest on Thursday, you'll be receiving information regarding your child's teacher. Next slide, please. So school supply lists and supply pickup, recommended supply lists have been emailed. You can also find those on our website. That is a list to start with. Again, we were understanding that you probably have some things left over from last year. We did not want to inundate you with too many requests, but I know that school supply shopping is a part of the school year process, the fun of starting a school year. So we tried to make it as clear and concise as possible. If you have questions about that, let us know. And if you are in any way in need of supplies, please don't hesitate to contact our Woodward office. We have a Woodward office email that's listed there, or your classroom teacher, Mr. Bonfilio, our school counselor. You can reach out to him. Please do not hesitate to check in with us if you need supports, supplies, and help with that. iPad pickup dates for kindergarten and for students new to Mary Woodward. That will be sent out on Friday. We had some dates that were set that we were ready to publicize, but we had to make some changes to our teacher in-service schedule for the next 2 weeks. And so that as a result, we had to work on some new dates. So that will be out by Friday. Regarding kindergarten, we'd like to have kindergarten families come and pick up and get an opportunity to just wave and say hi to their teacher and make that human connection while setting up a time for the family connect time. Next slide, please. Tech support and device care. There's some information. And again, these slides and this presentation will be saved. And so you'll be able to access this and access this information. So just know that it'll be on the website after we're done presenting here. Technology District Help Desk, the number there, they're incredibly helpful if you have questions about connectivity or iPad needs or iPad care. You can also connect the Woodward office directly. Again, Woodward office at ttsd.k12.or.us. And there's also a link there to our parent help and a helpful page on our district website that lists kind of a FAQ, a frequently asked question articles and supports that you might need. Next slide, please. So Mary Woodward PSO, our school, Mary Woodward, is a school that thrives because of the connection we have with our parents and our school community. Our teachers and parents work in conjunction with each other to make sure that student success is happening and consistent success is there. Our PSO is made up of parents and guardians who have a child enrolled or children enrolled at Mary Woodward. PSO provides enhancements for the learning environment and support for Mary Woodward students and staff through volunteering and fundraising. And I know I'm reading verbatim, but it's families have an opportunity to serve and be heard through this organization. Please, if you're a Facebook user, go ahead and check us out on Mary Woodward PSO, excuse me. Really, our PSO is incredibly organized. They have great links, a calendar, and there'll be information regarding upcoming PSO meetings, and for you to have an opportunity to check in and find out more about this really valuable organization that's so supportive of our school. Next slide, please. This slide shares with you our PSO board members. Our current board president is Danielle Smart. You'll see that our president-elect spot is open. The president-elect is an incredibly important position. Danielle was in that position last year, and they have an opportunity, the president-elect, to shadow the current president. So we have that real consistency from year to year. That is needed in the PSO. So if you are interested, you can see the emails that are listed there. Please connect. You can either connect the office and to our office, and we can then connect you to the PSO, or you can contact them directly. But you can see there our secretary, Christy Sloan, treasurer, Aaron Buck. We have an assistant treasurer position open again, which is very important, that would work in conjunction with Aaron. And then our volunteer coordinator, Jen Vasicek, incredibly important role to coordinate volunteers across our building for various events. And we will be having events this year. We will be connecting. We'll be doing some things to build up community, and we want to make sure that that's happening. Plans are in place for a virtual bingo night, and I am not going to miss I think I have a new calling for after I retire someday, for bingo calling, and I need to continue to hone my skills in that area. So we're hoping for a virtual bingo night this year. I would like to give a very important mention to our outgoing board president, Cindy Clare, who has this past year worked through really amazing, it just brought a lot of energy. This board has really brought a ton of energy to our PSO, and I really want to thank Cindy for her leadership this past year and all that she did. I would like to thank Anna Dodds, one of our other parents, who helped coordinate our jogathon, and there are plans in the work to do some kind of virtual jogathon at some point this year. And I would also like to thank Lindsay Clough, who was our auction chair this year. Lindsay did an amazing amount of work, and during a very tough climate, was able to organize a really wonderful group of parents to raise a considerable amount of money. The PSO not only courts volunteerism, but the money that's raised through our PSO goes directly to kids, and we make sure that it helps support supplies, things happening in the classroom. And again, it will look a little bit different this year, but when we are back up and running, they support field trips, they support really unique programs, art literacy here at our school. Thank you, PSO. Next slide, please. As we kind of get down to the bitter end here, I want to thank everybody for participating and being a part of this, and participating in a way through the question and answer section of it. I am so used to speaking in front of parents for back to school nights. This is a format that is certainly foreign to me. And so I thank you for your patience. We have some upcoming nights. Curriculum training for parents, kindergarten information night that will be coming up, and also a back to school webinar where we'll dive in a little bit deeper to back to school events. Please stay tuned for those coming up in September. Next slide. And then last but not least, we have our contacts. And I truly mean this when I want you to, communication will be the key this year. Us reaching out to you, and as Mary Woodward community reaching back to us for any needs that might be out there. please do not hesitate to check in. We will be sending surveys out to maintain that connection and to make sure we are hearing from you and listening to you of what's happening and how kids are doing. The pros, the cons, the things that we can support. And these are our contacts. You can always go to our Mary Woodward website for the links to those contacts as well. And we look forward to a very different yet wonderful school year. And please know that our teachers are hard at work, and I know have been hard at work over the summer, thinking about and planning for this school year. And we are excited to connect with kids and with families, and we are looking forward to maintaining that connection at Mary Woodward. Parents, again, stay in touch, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day and a wonderful weekend ahead. Thank you very much.
Jerry, did you want to answer any questions that might have popped up that weren't answered?
You know what, Jennifer, I cannot see those in my screen.
So do you want to take a moment to do that?
I would love to, if that would be.
There was a few questions about the schedule, and I answered one about the schedule, just mentioning that the specific number of hours is set by the state. And so there's a total number of hours that we are required to meet. And I also mentioned that the schedule itself that was created by our school district will be monitored and adjusted as needed. But there are still some concerns that should be addressed, just about the flexibility and kindergartners in particular, about monitoring and helping them during the day. And then also just the total number of hours for like kindergarten, first grade. If you could just speak to that, that would be wonderful.
Jennifer, thank you. By all means, and my apologies for not addressing that directly. Our teachers are professionals, and as Jennifer said, those guidelines are set forth by the state, and we have to follow and make sure that we're setting a schedule. It is our first look at that schedule. Our first grade team, our elementary team as a whole, they are going to be intuitive to gauge how kids are handling those hours. To start with, it's going to be probably going to look different. And as I mentioned, the lessons will be on the Canvas shelf, and you will be able to go back and access those in different ways. But there will be chunking of learning, and that chunking of time to break it up that is really appropriate for kids. And I've already talked to a number of parents about this, and I think that was probably one of the biggest concerns as far as the schedule goes, is just when you look at that at first blush. But it will be we'll be taking a look at that as a staff and as teachers, and really reading the kids and reading what is happening and adjusting as necessary. That will be part of the survey information that we look at. It'll be important for you to share that, and please be candid with us. It's so important. Many families were really candid with us at the end of last school year about what worked and what didn't work, and that really helped us move forward in what we needed to do for this year. And again, I'm always available for follow-up questions and for phone call or email after that.
Thanks, Jerry.
Anything else, either from Jennifer or Lindsay, that you can think of? Again, I really do look forward to staying connected, and we'll look forward for follow-up phone calls. We are here. And we'll look forward to checking in. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much.